Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome everybody for this wonderful session, a webinar on electricals for HVAC. Now this webinar is going to be conducted by RRC Bangalore, an affiliate of RRC Mumbai, headquartered at Mumbai. Now let me tell a few words about RRC. What do you mean by RRC? RRC means it's an association of refrigeration and air conditioner traders association, and it is headquartered in Mumbai. It was started in the year 1949 and today it has 13 chapters spread across India, and we are now 1000 plus members in all these 13 chambers together. Now let me briefly explain you what is the work RRC does. As I told you, RRC is an association of traders. It is an association of small scale industries in the line of HVAC. Now the purpose of RRC is, one is it brings together all the people in the HVAC trade so that we can help each other. I as a trader can get a supplier's address. I as a supplier can get my customer's address. So we get a network of all the people who are in the HVAC trade across India. So that is one of the major advantage of this. Now apart from this, RRC helps the HVAC fraternity. We all have issues with the government. We all have issues with the ESI, PF and so many different divisions. Now RRC collects the problems which is being faced by all the traders, and then they take it across with the government and try to solve our problems. Now RRC is also affiliated with the various trade bodies like ASOCHEM Delhi, FKCCI Bangalore, Chamber of Commerce in Maharashtra and Gujarat, and likewise with many more associations. RRC has the connection. Now RRC Mumbai is ably led by the national president, Mr. Ajit Panikkar, who owns a company by name Pureblu Technologies Private Limited. Mr. Ajit Panikkar has been actively helping all the 13 chapters and the RRC head office, and he has been actively supporting for getting interviews with the ministers and the various chamber of commerce and taking forward the problems what we are facing. Now RRC nationally does a lot of programs. The first thing what the RRC does is they do programs on commercial requirements of the traders. It could be how to deal with the ESI, PF or the sales tax authorities, or there are many technical points which the traders or the SMEs want in the line. So they give a lot of information and they give a lot of highlight on these kind of activities. Over a period of year, RRC has conducted thousands of programs, and all these programs are available in the RRC website. Once you go to the RRC website, you get the various programs RRC has conducted, and you name any subject. You name cold room, you get details about cold room. You name compressors, you get details of compressors. You name about stock maintaining, you get details of stock maintaining. So you name anything, you can get in comprehensive detail of that subject, and this way RRC helps you in upgrading your knowledge and doing better business. Now I belong to the Bangalore chapter of RRC. The Bangalore chapter of RRC is ably headed by Mr. C. Subramaniam, who is the president of our chapter here, and he owns a consultancy company by name Triple S Consultants. RRC Bangalore is 74 members strong. The Bangalore chapter was started 2 years back, and we have been actively conducting various programs from the last 2 years. In fact, yesterday we had a program which was very much liked by all the members in Bangalore, which was called as Chai Pe Charcha, and we had a physical meeting where all our traders and contractors had come, and they all expressed the various difficulties they faced in collecting money from their customers when they have done credit business. So Rata Bangalore has given various suggestions, and we are going to work with all the traders and contractors to help them in collecting their money from their customers. So likewise, we will keep continuing these kind of activities, and we will help you in various different ways. Now today we have a very interesting program, a very valuable program, especially for people in the line of HVAC. So this program is called as Electricals for HVAC. Friends, as you all know, electrical is one of the major part which helps us in running our machines and systems. So it is very, very important that we know our electricals to a large extent. Okay, today this webinar is conducted by a very competent person. I'll just give a small brief about him. Let me give a small introduction about the speaker today. The speaker is Mr. T. Nagaraja. He owns a company by name Blue World Services, and he works and is running this company for the last 30 years. He has been actively involved in various associations like RATA. He has been involved in ISHRE. He is a past president or presidential member of ISHRE Bangalore, and at present he is the regional head for developing of memberships for ISHRE Bangalore. Today the topics he is going to cover is, this is in fact a second part of the electricals. In the first electricals, he had spoken about the basics of electricals. Today we are taking one step ahead, and we are going to a slightly higher level. And today the speaker is going to discuss about starters, cables, and then allied accessories. So this is going to be a 30 minutes presentation. This will be followed by a 10 minutes question and answers. Any doubts, any clarifications you want on the electricals, you can post the questions on our web, and these questions will be put to the speaker, and you'll get the reply on the spot. And if you save the number of the speaker, even at a later stage, you can get clarification for all your electrical doubts. So it is my pleasure to welcome on stage the speaker of the day. He's a star speaker. Please join me in welcoming Mr. T. Nagaraja. Mr. Nagaraj.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prasad. I think wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. I think Rata is doing a really good job. It means training in various activities, either refrigeration, either commissioning, installation, then electrical, BMS, whatever it is. I think if any member needs, they require some category of programs. Definitely, our program chair, Mr. Prasad, will take the initiative and he is organizing. I think once again, warm welcome to all learners. Even I am also learning in the series of telling my experiences. So, welcome to the training. I'll start that. I think last training we spoken about our basics of electricals. Basics of electricals means first initially we should know what is the symbols, what is the abbreviations, what they are using, where they are using, whether NO where we are using, NC where we are using, what is the contactor, what is the relays, overload relays, all those things. So last time we are very much basically we have given the inputs. Now I think we are going ahead of one steps ahead as Prasad told already. So we want to go to next steps. See, usually our electrical and electronic controls are playing a vital role in our refrigeration and air conditioning industry. maintain optimum indoor air quality, maintain thermal comfort conditions, reduce energy use, that is our main motto. Then save plant operations to reduce manpower cost, identify maintenance problems, efficient plant operation to match the load, monitoring system performance. These are all the purposes set by electronic and electrical controls. Then what is the control then? In simplest terms, the control is defined in the starting, stopping, or regulating our air conditioning systems. What is the starting, stopping, or regulating? It means what is required measurable variables. That means collect the data, whether temperature, RH, voltage, current, whatever the variable data we have to collect. Then process the data. That means work on. So we want only this much, only 24 degrees required. Or my compressor should run on this much load to deliver this much load. Then you cause the control. Control means then you switch on, switch off, or regulate. That means vary the load. The above three actions are met through only sensors, controllers, and control devices. So before going the deep, I think we can once again refresh standards, abbreviations, and symbols. The standard symbols are generally used for only two categories, that is safety indications, safety controls. What is safety indications? Safety indication whether our machine is running in a safe condition or abnormal conditions, whether alarm is present or not present. These are all the indications. What is the safety controls? If my HU is running, then only my valve should open. So these are all the typical safety controls. My HPLP is all right, then my compressor should run. Then every interlock is closed, then only I should start the machine. So these are all the controls. Only two types of safeties are used. These are all the normally used abbreviations. Last time we have gone through all those things, but still once again we will refresh. If you are keep on refreshing, I think things will be there in our mind. So AC, DC, EMF, PU, all these things, abbreviations are given. I can go through once again. AC, alternate current, DC, direct current, EMF, electromotive force, PU, per unit, PD, potential difference, PF, power factor. If power factor is not maintained, definitely authority people will put a penalty. RMS, root mean square, phase. Then we have got three phase with the neutral. Hertz. What is the hertz? In Indian standard, we are going to use 50 hertz, volts, amps, ohms, then watts, W, kWh, kilowatt hour, MA, milliamps, MCB. These are all the components, abbreviations. MCB, miniature circuit breaker, RCCB, residual current circuit, then ELCB, earth leakage circuit. Nowadays, earth leakage circuits taken over by RCCBs. MPCB, motor protection circuit breaker. This motor protection circuit breaker will have both switching as well as overload protection. MCCB, molded case circuit breaker. ACB, air circuit breaker. ELR, earth leakage relay. So wherever the cables are running long run, 50 meter, 100 meter to incomer big cables, this earth leakage relay will be used in the panel incomer side. Any damages are happened immediately, this leakage will show and we can take a corrective actions. SFU switch fuse units, switch disconnector fuse units, fuse switch units, switch disconnect units, then overload relay. Thermal and electronic, both the types are there. Nowadays, electronic overload relay is widely used because thermal relay is tripping time will be more because it has to get heated up and tripping. It will take almost 60 to 90 seconds. Our electronic relays are instant so that we can save breakers and contactors getting burned. VFD, variable frequency drive, DDC, direct digital control, then BMS, building management systems, PLC, pulse logic controller, IL we are regularly using interlock systems. Any machine should start, our all safety interlock should get closed. Then air conditioning abbreviations. HP means high pressure, low pressure, then OP, oil pressure, OPT, operating thermostat, AFT, antifreeze thermostat. Nowadays, our PLC, only one sensor will do both the job. OPT set at some certain level, I think 4 to 6 degree. Once it is crossing this level below this, then it will consider as an antifreeze. So below 4 degree or whatever the required set point crosses, then automatically our PLC or display will show it is crossing the dangerous zone. Then condenser water pump, chilled water pump, CT fan, cooling tower fan, liquid line solenoid valve, SSV section solenoid valve, ULSV unloader solenoid valve, compressor, condenser, TIC temperature indicator, controller, TI temperature only indicator. Here we cannot control anything, we can only monitor. Then EC fan, nowadays widely people are preferring electronically commutated motor to save the energy. Then humidity start, thermostat, these are all why I used TIC and thermostat. Thermostats are analog thermostats which are using for control the humidity and dehumidification purpose. Air start thermal sensor, defrost heaters, crankcase heaters, evaporators, AHU air handling unit, OPS oil pressure switch. These are all some of the abbreviations I have put forward to you guys to just refresh. I know that you all know this, but still will refresh. Then today's topic, major topics is the types of starters. So various starters are there. DOL starter, star delta starter, VFD bypass, DOL, VFD bypass, star delta, then only VFD starters. Then nowadays that double star, double delta also is there, 60-40, 50-50 like that. Starters also is there. So earlier DOL starters means it was only switch on, switch off. We cannot take any BMS provision or input is not there. I think you have all seen L&T starters, just a small mechanical that you just press the button and lock it. Then it will keep running. Whether motor is taking high amps, low amps also, it won't trip. That locking provision also was given earlier days. Nowadays it is not like that. DOL starter means everything we can hook it to the BMS also. Auto manage status, run status, trip status, in command, whatever is there. He further moves ahead with some device starters, even can integration also. What all the parameters that is showing, even voltage, current, then what is the percentage it is running. Those things also can be integrated directly without using any controllers. Some manufacturers are manufactured. I think these typical starters you can generally see. Then what are all the components considered for the starters? To make the starters, what are all required? So first we have to select the incomers. So basically incomers will be different types, maybe ACB, MCCB, MCB, SFU, MPCB. See, these are all 5 to 6 types incomers we can select. When you are selecting the incomer, then you have to see, we have to follow the type 2 coordination chart. When you are selecting a SFU, we have to select a contactor rating accordingly. When you are selecting MCCB, MCB and MPCB, there will be one rating will be there. Why it is like that? Because your fuses will be instant. But whereas in your MCCB, MCB and MPCBs will not be like that because those are thermally trip. It will take a time, 60 to 90 seconds. Your thermal element should get heated up, then only it will trip. So that you have to select a contactor accordingly. It should hold, your short circuit or overload should hold such time. That's why in your type 2 coordination, when you compare to the switch fuse, whenever using a switches with along with the fuse, that time will be rating will be lesser, and whenever using MCCB, MCB and MPCB, your rating will be a different. Then these are the contactors for switching purpose. Maybe different make is there, different varieties, different ampere ranges are there. From 6 amps to it can go whatever the current ratings we required, we can select accordingly based on the motor kilowatt. For that, add-on blocks will be there for using control circuit. So these are all add-on blocks. So you can say only two these things is there. This is 1NO, 1NC. then 2NO, 2 NCs. You can go 4NO, 4 NCs. Accordingly, your control circuit, then indication, trip indication, then on, off indication. How many auxiliary contact required, accordingly we can select. Then overload relays. Overload relays are two types again, thermal and electronic, I told. So thermal relays, again thermal contact. It will again, time will be taken for 60 to 90 seconds to trip the contactors. Your thermal contact will be break. You have got 4 points, 95, 96, 97, 98. So 95, 96 will be usually used for your switch off or switch on purpose. 97, 98 will be used for alarm purpose. Then electronics will be instant. So whenever the overload occurs, 110%, 115%, whatever your set limit, you can set the limit 110%, 115%. Your motor current crosses 110, 115, instantly this will trip. These are all the symbol for contact and overload. Then for switching on, switching off and indication purpose, we have to use push buttons. So I have given various push buttons just to know you guys. See, indication I have given red, yellow, blue, green, white. So RYB, red indication for one phase, B, yellow indication for one more phase, then blue indication for third phase. That means R phase, Y phase, and B phase. Then green for running, and red for off, switch off in push button. Whereas in the indication purpose, it will be reverse. When it is the green indication, it is safe. When it is in the red indication, it is a danger. That means whenever the motor is running, your red indication should on. Whenever your motor is off, your green indication should on. But whereas without indication push button, it is reverse. When it is stopping, you have to press the red button. When you are starting, you have to press the green button. So indication should be opposite way. These are all the elements. So NONC elements, it will be used behind the push button stations. These are lamp holders. Some push button will be illuminated push button. So this lamp holder will be placed behind this push button, so that whenever you are press this button, the light will be glow in the push button itself. Those are all called illuminated push buttons. These are all normal push buttons. This is emergency of push button. Whenever you are press, your contact will get open. Whatever the circuit, this will be switched off. The same push button can be lockable also. Whenever the safety purpose, remotely you want to start RPBS, remote push button station, the motor will be in beyond 10 meter of the electrical panel, RPBS should be used. That is a authority norm. So whenever 10 meter, beyond the 10 meter, whether panel is visible, not visible also, a remote push button station should be used with the lockable push button. If it is the DOL starter, you can use the isolator. If it is the star delta, you can go with the remote push button stations. These are all control components, auxiliary contacts, phase failure relays, different type of phase failure relays, then relays, Omron, OE, and so many makes of there. You can use it for the control purpose to give the command to the BMS, status to the BMS. Then this relay bases, connectors, again connectors for outgoing control and power connections, we can take it through connectors. These are strip connector, these are DIN connectors. Then now we come to the starters. What is DOL starter? The simplest form of motor starter for the induction motor is the direct online starter. That means just input will be 3 wires, output will be 3 wires till certain kilowatt. So in Indian, most of the starters will be up to 5.5 kilowatt only DOL starter. Beyond 5.5 or from 7.5 onwards, it will be a star delta, because the power fluctuations or inrush current of the motor due to that. But whereas in power plants, they are going even 200 kilowatt also DOL starter, because they have got enough power with their premises itself. They are only manufacturer, power plants and all, they are going even 200 kilowatt also DOL starters. So DOL small up to 5.5 kilowatt, we are using DOL starter. This is the one view of the DOL starter input. See, I told 3 phases, ROAB, then push button backside it is showing, then trip, auto manual switch, MCB, then control MCB, contactors, then overload relay, connectors, one transformer for the 24 volts valve or fire interlocking purpose. This is one type of. This is the other type of dual starter. For the bigger compressor, directly it will run. This is used MPCB. Here we have used MCB. Can control MCB timers. This is the typical starter, dual starter. This is the control and power wiring for the whatever I have shown earlier components we have used here. See, this is MPCB contactor, then it will go to the motor. Three-phase RYB will come. This MPCB shows both thermal and magnetic, both the trip. So automatically you can set the thermal range. If it is crosses your set points, this will take 60 to 90 seconds and it will trip. So no need to use one more overload relay. Nowadays, MPCBs are coming with only short circuit. Along with the overload, we can use it. These are all control circuit. So all interlock will get closed. Then your overload relay, then auto manual. Then it is a holding contact. BMS, remote start stop. Everything is connected seriously. Then contactor will switch on. Once this is a red, this is a green. Once you press the green, your red indication will on. Then automatically your motor will start running. These are all the interlocks we are given. Two motors, interlocks we are given K1, K2. That means your door interlock, limit switch, all the interlocks given. Then status to the BMS, trip status to BMS, remote start stop command also given. This remote start stop generally will be there in all the panels because your authority norms are there. Once the motor is beyond 10 meter from the panel or the panel is not visible, then we have to connect this remote start stop push buttons. This second one is star delta starter. Star delta starters. That means your motor, because since the higher load, your motor will start from 30 to 40% load in star or maximum 50% it will start. Suppose your motor will be a 15 kilowatt. When you press that button, it will start in a star mode of 50%. Once the 50% starters, your inrush current will come down. Instead of 6 to 8 times, it may go 4 to 5 times. A starter is a type of reduced voltage starter. We use it to reduce the starting current of the motor without using any external device or apparatus. This is a big advantage of a star delta starter. This is the one star delta starter, how it will be looking. See, we have got 3 contactors, star, delta and main, one MPCB. This is a different type of MPCB it has been used. Then timer, star delta timer, then control MCB. The timing should be 4 to 6 seconds max based on your fan application. Sometime it will be less also because your forward curve fans will be, inrush current will be very high. So this is the current. You may ask why the 50% it will run in star delta? Because your voltage will be 50%. When the motor needs 415 volts, you are giving in starting. That means this is the star contactor. This is the main contactor. Once you press the button, your main contactor and star contactor will get engaged. Once these two are engaged, your R phase and Y phase will go through this winding here. Then it will create a neutral point here. That means your motor will get only 50% of voltage instead of 415 volts, whatever the 230, 215, root 3 will get here. Once start 4 to 6 seconds, this opens, this engages. What will happen? This R will connect to Y. Then automatically you will get 415 volts. It will come to the full speed. All three will be 415, 415, 415. So like this, your star delta contactor changeover will happen. Or this current will be, overload will be always in the phase current. See, whenever you are measure here, this mains input, this will be a line current. That means full load of the motor current. Whenever you are measuring the 6 points, is a phase current. This is the control circuit, what overload, then stop push button, start push button, then timer. Once the timer NC, then star. KM2. So timer, once the timer is over, this will get NO. Then KM2 will operate. That means delta will switch on. Once delta switches on, this will get open. Your star also get open. So that will be safety. Whenever you want to, suppose some fault finding or some repair work you are taking, please remove this star, whatever the shot we are given here. Then you check all the winding, this starter wiring, everything, anything burnt out or anything. If you are repairing or troubleshooting time, you remove this star connection, you check, then you put it back. Otherwise, what will happen? Suppose delta and may star together, it suppose in charters are engaged together, it definitely it will get a blast because all three phase will be a dead shot here. So troubleshooting time, you open the shot, then troubleshoot it, check thoroughly, ensure that this is working properly, then you put back the shot back. It will ensure the safety repair. Then other starters are variable frequency drive that you know very well. A variable frequency drive is a type of motor control that drives an electric motor by varying the frequency drive and voltage of its power supply. The VFD also has the capacity to control ramp up, ramp down of the motor during the start stop respectively. So whenever you are using with the DG, so VFD will help a lot because your suppose 5 motors at a time starts, your DG will gone down because at a time load will start up. At that time what you have to do, you have to select a bigger DG to avoid this. Instead of that, you can go with a soft start. So you can ramp up, ramp down slowly. A variable frequency drive takes a fixed AC voltage and frequency into a rectifier grid to convert the voltage to DC. Uses a capacitor bank and inductors to filter the DC. Then inverts the same DC voltage converts back to AC and send it to the motor at a desired frequency level. So this is the view of the VFD bypass DOL starters. See, some manufacturer will give with the 2 contactors, some will be giving 3 contactors. To save the VFD input output, both side contactors they will provide. This is used MCCB with the VFD bypass starter. So in VFD input and output, both the contactor, some people will use to isolate so that whatever the hours, number of hours, your motor is, your VFD is not switched on, the voltage will not go. What will happen if the voltage is continuously going by 24/7, even the motor is running at 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day, balance hours, also your voltage continuously it will go, your electronic component may get treated up. Due to this, so it will be good that you can isolate both the side so that your power supply also will cuts to the VFD. This is a VFD bypass DOL starter. See, when this is the one incomer, so fuses for the indication lamps, bypass contactor. See here what I told, VFD drive and input and output both will be get isolated. Suppose it is running in a bypass mode, supply will go with the overload protection, motor will running, but your voltage will be not going to the VFD. In the same way, whenever switched off, this contactor also will be off, your drive will be safe. So these are all the control circuit what we are using: fire interlock, limit switches, auto manual, then your overload is also there. So VFD bypass, all those things is fan, everything will be there. So fire interlock, limit switch, on off command. Same DOL start what and all giving, we can buy VFD bypass also, we can give the provisions. Then VFD bypass star delta starters. So same way, VFD bypass star delta starter is also a 6 contactor. Some people will use 5 contactors so that VFD input they will don't want to use. So 1 contactor can be saved. But again, safety for the VFD purpose, we have to use 6 contactors. Then EMC plate. Generally, what will happen? So people will not use the EMC filter, this plate. So along with the VFD, any make of the VFD, they will give one EMC plate. So please fix it to the VFD. That means your EMC interference will be avoided. This also with MCCB as an incomer and contactor. VFD with bypass star delta starters. The same power we are using. So VFD input 1 contactor, output will be 2 contactor. Further star delta it will go. Then star, this is main, delta and star. So whenever you are rectifying the circuit, is the short what I told to remove. So it is there is no much different with the device starters. The same control circuit will be same as it is. This is the only VFD starters. So others one there is no bypass here. So VFD with the one auxiliary contactor is there. So any interlocks, provisions, outside BMS connectivity, everything will be connected with this also. But only thing, any problem with the VFD, so we cannot run. That will be very rare actually. Maybe suppose 10 to 15 starters are there, or 25 VFD starters are there. We can keep one VFD as a spare. Then we can avoid a bypass also. Those things also possibilities there. This is the power and control wiring for that. It is nothing, one MCCB will be there. MCB, MCCB or whatever we can incomer we can use. Input will be 3-phase in, output will be 3-phase out. Same control circuit, but all the provisions are there. Fire interlock, limit switch, on off command from BMS, auto manage status to BMS, on off status to BMS. We have the trip status, we have the speed control from BMS you can give. Feedback also you can take. Then even VFD communication also provided here. These are all pertaining to the starters. Then wires and cables. So I think armored cable you have seen. So armored cable will be multi-layer cable. So if you see conductor, then insulation will be there, some bedding, then armoring will be there, then sheath. Whenever you are doing a gland, what people will do, they will use the armored cable, they will cut this armored, put the PVC gland and easily they will connect. So please, this used for earthing purpose. Whenever you are using armored cable, please use the metal or brass glands so that your earthing will be intact. So this is a sheath again. This single core wires for panel wiring is earthing what we have used for yellow, on the yellow green band will be there. This for earthing purpose. Same RYB neutral. This is a 4-core wire. This is a earthing braided wire. So whenever earthing, this is also one type of braided wire, only copper braided wire. We can earthing purpose we can use this. Then cable and connector details selection. Suppose 0.37 is an amperage one. Then what is the connector? That model of the connectors. Then power cables. What will be the power cable? Power cable for the outgoing. What will be? Then control cable. What is the size? These are all based on the kilowatt rating. We are given a sizing of the cables. This is the glands. What I told. Whenever you are using for armored, please go with the brass glands. This is the PVC glands. Whenever only flexible cable or round sheathed cables, there is no armor. That time you can use PVC gland. These are all brass glands, single compression. These are all double compressions. Double compression and single compression glands. When outdoor type using, that time double compression can be used based on the customer specifications. This is a cable, just a pictorial representation to see that. Then small hint I just want to give for a checklist for HVAC system pre-commissioning these things. Electrically, inspect the panel, cable insulation checking, check the motor winding resistance, following with winding insulation, cable insulation, then whether all the terminations are tightened or not. Then charge the power to the panel alone, only panel alone. Check the incoming power without switching on the outgoing. Then checklist for then voltage measurement. Then R2I, what will be the voltage, Y to B, then B to R. Please ensure above readings are displayed in your meters, whether in voltmeter or in your multimeter or clamp meters. Start switching on the outgoing feeder one by one. Ensure the particular motor runs with required direction. Check the current as below with clip-on meter or ammeters, R phase, Y phase. Above parameters are not in line. Start and trips immediately. Then reason would be, suppose you have started the motor, everything you checked, megger is okay, cable is also okay, motor is also okay. Then you start it. Then motor will run 1 or 2 rounds, then it will stop. Then it may be overload range, relay range to be set. What will happen? New panel will come. There is no problem here. What is the new panel? No, switch on. then it will trip. Immediately call, your panel is tripping. But here they will not set the overload relay at factory, because our motor at the point, what will be the nameplate, we have to set accordingly. Incomer switch for that particular feeder sizing to be checked again. That's the second point. If main incomer trips, then the ELR setting needs to be checked. If suppose any one motor switches on, immediately your main incomer, 400 amps main incomer will trips. Sometime what will happen? They, instead of putting the whole cable, that CT, they will put only one phase. Hurry not because intentionally. Hurry what they will do? Workers will be fitting, and one phase they will put ELR, CTs and go. Then what will happen? Your motor, suppose you want 1 kilowatt motor, if you switch on also, your main incomer of 600 amps will trip. Why? Because your ELR is sensing. So please check that. If the pump motors are switched on without water in the pipeline, it should be switched off immediately after checking the direction or no load current. HV motor's direction and no load current shall be checked by removing the belt. I think nowadays belts are not there, all plug fans. Then troubleshooting case studies, I think this I have given with one picture. That picture is not there, but still I'll tell. Cooling tower trips, why? Increase in high pressure compressor will trip off through HP cutout if cooling tower trips. If condenser pump trips, with this compressor trip off through water flow switch. Evaporator fan trips, if the evaporator motor trips, then also compressor trips through LP cutout. Total unit can trip under voltage or over voltage. Compressor trip its own overload current due to above set conditions. Apart from all these things, nowadays, all compressor will have winding temperature sense with inbuilt. If anything motor gone beyond the temperature, then even compressor itself has got a safety. I think, and my presentation, I think you can go for a queries, Prasadji.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Nagaraj, for that wonderful presentation. Now, I think if the viewers have any queries or questions, you can put it across, and I will put it forward to Mr. Nagaraja, who will clarify your doubts. Okay. Nagaraj, I have one question to you.
Tell me, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Can you clarify what is the meaning of soft starters?
Soft to start means, see, initially you want to start some motor. What
Yeah.
will happen? Suppose the 1200 RPM motor,
Hmm.
if initially starts, what will happen is current will be 6 to 8 times it will go.
Okay.
For that, it will be slow starts. That means that called as a ramp up. That ramp up time you can set. It should be start in 3 seconds or 6 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds or 15 seconds based on your application. Suppose your compressor, to 50 tier compressor, if it start in one start, what will happen? 50 tier compressor may go 400 amps.
Yeah.
If you start soft start, it may start from your 25, 30, 50, 60 like that it will go.
Okay. Okay.
So your DG, suppose DG has got your backup DG will be at 250 kVA. It's sufficient for your compressor or whatever the actual load you are having. But your inrush current, suppose one compressor and other one H what starts at a time, it will go beyond 250 kilowatt.
That's right. Okay. And how do you achieve this soft start?
With the soft starter is also there and VFD is also there.
And how
Nowadays,
is
all your
how is the
soft
moderation
start
of
is
the
also one night.
speed?
Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, how is the moderation of the speed achieved? Through which
See,
components?
your VFD is there, variable frequency drive. This
Okay.
variable frequency drive, 0 to 50 hertz is equal to full load of your motor.
Okay.
You can vary. You can vary from 30 hertz to 50, 30 hertz to 50 hertz. So you can start from 30% load or 50% load. So you can slowly ramp up. Or even you can from start to end, you can ramp up.
Ah, okay. That is thank you. Okay. I think There are not many questions today.
Oh, good. I think all
Yeah,
are
I think people are,
understood properly.
yeah. So there is a comment by Mr. Narayana. Thank you, sir. Nicely covered the topic.
Oh,
So
thank you
which
so much,
indicates,
Narayan.
I think, which indicates that I think people have understood what you have told. I think you have explained in a very simple way. Actually,
Okay.
I felt actually for me, I did my engineering, but I was
Okay.
always afraid of electricals.
Good.
I was very much confused about this starters, cables, and it was an anathema for me, and I was always trying to avoid it. So
Yeah.
today, actually, especially the starters, I very clearly understood what is a DOL starter, what is a star delta, how the VFD starter works, and now you also explained me about the soft starters. I think I got a good introduction to electricals in a very simple way, just in about half an hour. That is a
Oh,
wonderful job done.
yeah, because pictorial, I have made it pictorial most
Yeah,
actually. So,
correct.
which is push button, which is indicator, which is contactor, which is element. Actually, sometime what will happen? Push button they will keep pressing, but still that will not intact. Then what will do? People will do? They will remove whole push button and change it. But they can change only element also. If they have that only indicator gone, only indicator they can change. So like that is there. Earlier days we used to do that only. Only element it is not conducting properly. We would change the element. 60
Okay,
rupees instead of 400 rupees.
okay. You are changing the element.
Yes.
Okay, okay. That is fine. I think we'll go ahead now. I thank all the people who have put their questions and clarified that out. I think there was only two, three questions from my end, and then there was a comment from Mr. Narayan. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Now we'll go ahead. We have our president, Mr. Subramaniam, who owns a company by name SSS Consultant, who is
Everything
waiting.
yes.
Yeah, he's always yes. You ask him anything, he's always yes. Okay,
Correct.
so he is waiting to charge ahead. So I would request to call Mr. Subramaniam on stage and do the vote of thanks and summation and then talk a few words about Rata.
Yeah,
Please join us, Mr. Subramaniam. Welcome.
thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Prasad. Dear friends, dear Nagaraj and Prasad, I think it has been a nice session. We have had a very good session. And this is, I think, your follow up session on the first one, what you did.
Correct.
Basics of
Yeah.
electrical. Now, this you're taking them to second level on introducing starters and cabling and sizing and all that. Now, I am sure that all business owners who are from Rata members and Rata Trade who are there, they are all selling components. Let's say somebody is selling a compressor, somebody is selling a room air conditioner. They are SSD dealers, so sales and service dealers, contractors. What happens is you just don't sell only the product, because the owner wants to know how to connect them. Unless you give power, unless you give electrical power, it's not going to run. And if you give wrong power, then you're going to damage the compressor, and the person owner customer is going to come back to the dealer or the trader for warranty.
Mm. Yeah.
Now at that time, you have to now tell him, how did you connect, what happened, why did you make mistake. Now if you're going to tell him warranty is not applicable, then he is not, you have to analyze, you have to give information, give advanced information, safety precautions and things like that, either in written form. I'm sure that all the companies that our business owners are dealing with, they will have their own installation operation map, maintenance procedures, IOM manual, that has to be followed. But the basic salesperson or sitting in the counter, over the counter, when we have started selling, the trader and dealer and contractor, they should be aware that such a thing is there. When we are going and buying something in the market, we expect that the salesperson, to know little bit about the product, not everything, right? We want them to know a little bit. When you're buying a cell phone, for example, you go to an iPhone shop or a Samsung or whatever shop you want to go, we expect that person to know a little bit. We don't want him to know, we don't want him to know that how to design the cell phone system or how to do so many things. But what are the basic things? At least we should have an idea. Then the customer owner who is coming and buying from our trader, from our business owner, from the dealer, they will have confidence that yes, this company to whom where I have gone and bought this, they know little bit about the product they are selling, and they know how to give support. In case I have a problem, I can go back to them, tell them, they will contact the main principal company and get the warranty, get the replacement, or advise me something. Now that is the idea with which, Rata Bangalore chapter, Rata RRC Rata Bangalore is doing all this kind of basic fundamentals, not high level transformer design or HVAC design, and we are not doing all that panel design. We are just doing simple things. What a safety precaution, what a salesman over the counter should know, what a business owner should know. At least guide the owner in the right direction. That is, guide the owner what are the manuals they should look at, IOM manual before installation. Go through this. There is the information here. What is the right cable to use? How to do earthing? And how to protect your compressor so that you do it. And all, if everything is done correctly, if there are no warranty problem, if there are no recurring problem, every business owner is going to increase his bottom line. Not only the top line, the bottom line is also going to be increased. Now these are the purpose for which Rata is doing all this kind of program, which are helping our business owners to make more margin at the end of the day, but primarily to equip their staff and themselves also, to give them confidence and to go in front of, at some point of time you're selling these components as replacement or first time sale. It will give them confidence. Yes, this is how you do. I may not be aware of the how to do the design, but there is somebody who is an electrical contractor whom you should appoint, somebody who has got the licensing mechanism. Do it properly. Grade A contractor, grade B contractor, at least we should guide them in that direction. And for that, we want to do this kind of fundamental basic program. And I'm sure Nagaraj is going to come up with next level, which is also how do you connect, how do you do your thing, simple things which our service people will be able to appreciate in every contracting. Because Rata, when we talk about, it is a Refrigeration Air Conditioning Trades Association, but it is not only for dealers, it's not only for traders, it is for sales and service dealers, it is for all business owners, it is for contractors, contracting community, it is for manufacturers, it is for owners. So it is for everyone. So our Rata across India, we have got members from all these verticals, all these areas where R&AC, refrigeration, air conditioning is being utilized. They are all our members. So this program is intended for all of them, and I am sure that with Nagaraj's presentation, the business owners, they can share this link. Our contractors, sales and service dealers, and traders who are in big size, medium size, small size, they can share this link with all their staff members. Let them go through this fundamental. It will give them confidence, and it will equip them with the kind of knowledge which Prasad has correctly said. We have learnt it in our colleges, we have learnt it in the field, in the ITI design, in the ITI, when people, we have gone through DME and DE diploma, we have gone through engineering, we have gone through. But the practical aspect of starter and these things and all, they will not teach you. They will teach high level stuff, and these will not be there. Like Nagaraj said, when you want to replace, we have constructed starter from buying push button, buying overload relay, buying various components like that. So that is how the operations go. So this is the purpose for which we are doing. So I am sure that all business owners would have got a good idea. Please spread this word around. Rata is for all business owners, and the programs we are doing, it is very, very helpful for all their staff members. All their staff members, be it sales staff, we do a lot of program in winning in selling, selling process, and we do like this small technical programs we do. And yesterday we did one Chai Pe Charcha program, Bangalore, where 25, 30 people attended, our members. We are also helping them out on business aspect. We recently, couple of months back, we did a program on partnership. If you want to do LLP, partnership, proprietorship, what are the pros and cons? What are the advantages? How they should go? One chartered accountant came and talked. So we cover all aspects of business for our members. We are there to share with them the knowledge that is within our repository, within our resources. Mr. Nagaraj is our very esteemed member. Mr. Prasad is our extreme esteemed member. So we are very happy to share this. I'm sure that more people will watch this video, YouTube, over a period of time. It is going to be made available on our website, I request all the members to go through their pages, members to log into the pages. All the previous programs are all available, categorized, nicely planned. It is there. Please go through all of them. It will all be useful for you as well as your staff. Not only for you individually, it's very useful for your staff. So you can run it on a Saturday morning, 1 hour. You can run it on a large screen, ask your staff of 10, 15, 20, 30 people to sit down there and watch. And one of you from the organization can, definitely come and they can explain something. So this is how Rata comes in very handy. It comes and helps all the business owners. So we request everyone to spread word around, and those who are not members, please join this organization, association. It's very, the voice will be heard. The more the members, the more it gains a lot of strength when we represent the government. We do a lot of government advocacy activity. For example, Bangalore location, we our advocacy, Mr. Chair, Mr. Sunil and Mr. Prasad, they have gone, Nagaraj, they have gone and met Jagdish Shettar. We are members of FKCCI. We are representing the problems what we are having. For example, GST issues, whatever issues, that high sale issues, and naming, numbering, weights and measures. So all your problems, whatever it is, you can be part of it. And we do a lot of programs. So we request all of you to join Rata in a big way. Yesterday we had a very nice program, and where we discussed and shared, members shared their grievances, how the collections problems can be collectively handled. The networking, because this is just because the market is one, and the problem one person is facing can be shared with the other person, things like that. So we try to do all that. Thank you so much, Nagaraj, for giving this excellent presentation. So continue. We thank you, and we continue to support Rata with lots more programs. It is going to be watched across India. All the members.
Thank you, Subbu and Prasad Garu. Thanks for the platform given. I have just give whatever I experience only shared. I think who are listeners, definitely they know everything. It is only refreshing their knowledge, that's all.
And
If you keep-
Nagaraj, we for one know you as a person who has come from ground level, who has who has come from ground level, and you have worked with your own hands, and now you are a very successful business owner who is owning a factory and manufacturing panels. You are a BMS contractor. You are doing contracting in electrical work. So this is how the path of all our members should take. They should take learning from all this, and we are sure we will come up with more programs on business Chunotia, where in Bangalore we will try to have all of you, how you can share your growth pattern. I'm sure that you are not like this 20 years back or 15 years back, or I know you since 2005, and now you are after 15 years, 16 years, you are a totally different person, but you have not forgotten your basics. And same thing with Prasad also. So you are all successful business owners who have started from ground level, and this is what we want to share with all our young business owners, youngsters who are part of our industry. They can learn a lot from all of you, and we want them to be successful in business operations, in commercial aspect as well as technical aspect. It's like a bicycle. You need the commercial thing, you need the technical knowledge, because we are selling technical products, and you have to be backed up with a very strong commercial knowledge and foundation. That's what both Rata brings to the members. Thank you so much. And we look forward, Prasad, to more and more programs next month
I
coming.
think next week we have one more program from Mr. Subramaniam, our president. It is a very awaited program. Winning in selling.
Yeah, we try to handle sales part, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day we do selling. Because everybody has got sales people. You have to sell your product, you have to sell your system.
Correct.
And we try to handle
So
that.
we will have your program next week, and I will do one program in the month of March. Like I'll be mainly doing on the business aspects. Like
Very
last time I
nice.
did a program on 7 pillars of business, which would have made the business owners understand what actions they have to take inside their office to ensure that their business becomes successful. There are 7 pillars of business. And one more I did earlier was, what are the different opportunities available in refrigeration air conditioning. As the business has grown, there are various new opportunities which has come up. Today, you can start business in cold rooms. You can start business in environmental chambers. You can start business in heat pumps. You can start business in um ripening chambers. Ripening chambers today, if you see any fruit in the market, it could be banana or mango or any fruit in the market, they're all artificially ripened. So that artificial ripening has become a big business. That itself is a big business nowadays. So then next is that heat pump. In our house, we have the water heating geysers, which consume electricity, and it is a geyser. But if you go for refrigeration type of geysers, the power consumption is going to be only 25 to 30% of the power which would have consumed in an electrical geyser. Especially when you come to hotels, hostels, hospitals, factories, and all, where the electricity bill comes to 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs per month, probably saving 70%. It's like saving 20 lakh rupees on the electricity bill. And today, this heat pump is a very big business. So it is another line of activity. So these are all
Exactly.
various activities which are available. We have done programs on all of this, like what
Oh,
kind of business you can start. So
okay.
it's all available in the YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these programs for the benefit of members, they are all available in the YouTube. Please go to Rata website. As members, you have your own login ID and password. There are lot features of microsite management. Microsite is there where you can put your you can do a lot of things there, and then you can sell. You can put your product for some special sale pricing and things like that. So I urge all the members to get in touch with Rata headquarters, get your password, get your user ID, and log on and enjoy the benefit that Rata is spending, for all the members. And as Prasad and Nagaraj said, when you are selling compressor and this air conditioning system, you don't have to stop there. You can sell the electrical panel for that. Now that is the reason why Nagaraj has brought out this program of electricals, where you don't have you so the customer, you can sell some more things and make more revenue, more profit at the end of the day. These are the avenues, ideas, opportunities, learnings which we are all giving to every business owner. Please take this in a positive way, and I am sure that you will want to grow your business, and we want to help you grow your business and help you do it without any problem. And we try to share with you all the learnings amongst our members for your business growth and success. That is the objective and mission of Rata. Thank you so much, Nagaraja. Thank you so much, Prasad.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks
for
to
the
our
opportunity, sir.
headquarters for taking this
Thanks
program
a lot.
nicely.
Thank you. With that, we are concluding this program. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.